responsibility system and its application by these two, a saying became common in China. It was, if you want wheat, go to Zhaojiang. If you want rice, go to Wanli, the two provincial leaders. Zhaojiang was party secretary of Sichuan province, which had suffered enormously as a result of the famine following the Great Leap Forward, and which continued to suffer food shortages, in part because of drought, but in part because of the poor performance of the communes. Wanli became the party chief in Anhui province, another area where famine and low food production was endemic. Within 5 years, the effects of the new policy would be spectacular.
Funyang, Anhui province. This prefecture was the first to experiment with the responsibility system. Yang Jinli is part of what is known as a 10,000 yuan household, a farming family that earns more than 10,000 yuan a year. The money Mr. Yang receives is equivalent to 10 months' wages for average urban workers. After the introduction of the responsibility system, electricity was installed for the first time in Yang's house.
This is 85年买的这个双缸洗衣机，这个呢是88年买的这个彩色电机，这个电呢是83年通的，这个呢就是88年第7届全国大代表这个到达北京，凤阳呢就是我去过一个唯一的农民，我觉得呢参加这个会议啊。 这个从心里呢比较很荣幸很高兴，将来呢我努力工作，这个做到呢多多贡献，这个就这样。
In Deng's regime, 10,000 yuan householders like Yang could be elected to the National People's Congress.
There's never been a greater pragmatist in charge of China than Deng Xiaoping. That really means that he looks for practical means of achieving results without too much worry about ideology or anything else. There's nobody, I think, understood the power of money, particularly so far as peasants were concerned, better than Deng. He instituted a system which put money in the hands of the peasants by eliminating the communes, allowing the peasants to produce for themselves, sell their surplus product, engage in all kinds of small handicraft enterprises. Sometimes these grew quite large, and the peasants got money in their pockets and they immediately reinvested it. They bought trucks and it went into the trucking business. They bought buses and went into the busing business. It transformed the countryside. They built all kinds of new buildings and houses. Their lives were better than they had been at any time in the past. And all of this money went into the circulation of China, giving it a pace and a vigor that it had not seen before. In fact, that was one of the problems, because perhaps the money went in too fast and the circulation was too fast, and pretty soon China began to show signs of inflation and the other things that follow from too much money in circulation, but it really got China going.
Remember how it all began? Everybody said you'd go far, but you never dreamed you'd be a star. Welcome to America. Let us take you by the hand, and welcome to the friendly skies all over our great land.
You'll probably never need to go to all the places United go to in America. But isn't it kind of nice to know you can?
So welcome to America.
And where are you off to today?
We're going home.
Home. That's one of our most popular destinations.
Welcome to United Friendly Skies, all over our great land.
The Fall-Winter Collection at Wing On.
Spielberg's original time-warping action movie. Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, driven back to the future by the power of love. New West premiere, Back to the Future, tonight at 9 on World Channel. New West premiere, Back to the Future, is co-sponsored by New West, created by Aramis.
Really got China going.
The Chinese government announced in 1989 that its population exceeded 1.1 billion. To control China's ever-growing population, the government in 1980 introduced the one-child policy, which encouraged people to have no more than one child per couple. This policy offered various privileges to the couple with only one child and placed severe fines on those who had more than one. The policy remains effective in cities, but has begun to fray at the edges in the countryside, where 80% of China's population lives. Under the responsibility system, farmers began to think it more profitable to have another son or two to increase production, even if they had to pay the fine. Last February in Chunjie, Chinese New Year, every city was filled with people who came from the villages to seek employment. Of the 23 million people living in China's major cities, 10 million came from the countryside. In China, those who are listed on rural census records are not in principle allowed to move to cities. However, more and more people are coming to the cities, ignoring government regulations and not returning to their villages.
I'd been traveling in China for years and felt that I was in a position to evaluate quite readily the economic advances that were being achieved under the new programs. But I also saw the contradictions which the new programs produced. I could see that there were areas of the country which did not profit. There was the problem of the people on fixed wages in the cities. People in the country were getting much more money. People in the city were caught in a pincer's squeeze, unable really to profit